right here, man. Errol Spence takes second L to Terence Crawford in the rematch at 154. Should he retire? What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, everybody knows by now, news broke about 2 days ago regarding the rematch clause being activated between Terence Bud Crawford and Errol the Truth Spence Jr. My question is, if Errol Spence loses again to Terence Crawford, is that a hint that he should retire, or does it even matter at this point? I want to give my 667 nickels on that and break it down for anybody listening.
If you're a winner, you wake up like that. If you're a winner, you wake up like this. If you're a winner, you wake up like this. That's simple.
Alright, y'all. So, will it matter if Errol Spence takes a second loss to Terence Crawford? Or is Terence Crawford just the better man? Does he have Errol Spence's number? Is there a skill differential between these guys? Is there a speed differential? Did the car accident, damage Spence worse than what people think? All of these variables, all these questions are coming into play because the rematch is right around the corner from what I understand. Most likely it'll happen in December or January of 2024. It either happened in December, end of 2023, or January, the beginning of 2024. Me personally, I think it's kind of funny because if y'all think back just a few short weeks ago, everybody was saying Errol Spence was going to win the first fight and Terence Crawford had no chance. Now it's the complete opposite. Everybody's saying Terence Crawford is going to win. Errol Spence has no chance.
Never let your emotions supersede your intelligence.
So, I think boxing is a fickle sport. It's a funny sport like that. Fans are really passionate about their guy. And if their guy does something that they feel like was, masterful, for lack of a better word, or, something that nobody felt like their guy should be able to pull off, then they kind of put him in that unbeatable category. And I tell people all the time, nobody's unbeatable in the sport of boxing. Nobody's unbeatable in life, period.
Raw dog has spoken.
Michael Jordan took losses. Muhammad Ali took losses. Floyd Mayweather took no losses. But I put Floyd Mayweather in a special category of those guys who didn't want to take losses. So they set things up in their favor. I don't think Terence Crawford has the power to manipulate things the way Floyd Mayweather could and had the power to do. So I think if he does beat Errol Spence a second time, it won't be due to PEDs. I don't think, me personally, I don't think he's the kind of guy who does PEDs. If you look at Bud's personality and the way he carries himself, he don't even drink. He don't smoke. What makes you think he's out here doing steroids? Like, it don't even make sense at this point.
Like, I like peace and quiet. It's like I'm a loner, bro. I do better and come up with shit better than I make money, do a lot of shit. I do everything better, bro, just being by myself. And that shit kind of like a problem.
I know that the snack program is more supplemental, and some supplements you might not even know have things in them, actually have things in them that are not on the up and up with the sport of boxing. But Bud, I think, is one of those type of guys who micromanages everything. So I think he would be asking a lot of questions about what's this, what's that, and anybody serving you up something is not going to want you asking them a lot of questions. They're going to be more like, it works, take it, it works.
I think sometimes people lose sight of their purpose.
So, I would never say he's the type of guy if he wins, it has something to do with a setup or him having something in his favor or him snacking on things, which he still might, he still might. I'm not saying that he hasn't. I'm just saying there's no proof and he hasn't been popped. So let's not accuse someone who's never been popped. But, you know, guys like that, you know, when you build them up to be the unmovable force, the unstoppable force, normally that's when they get stopped. I think Terence Crawford is a special athlete because not too many people don't smoke or drink or do any of this type of stuff. So you got to put him in a special category just for that.
Riddle me this. You're about to marry the love of your life. You take her and some of your friends to Vegas the night before the wedding. She comes downstairs wearing a shirt that says throat goat. What do you do?
But I do feel like that Errol Spence wasn't his best self in the first fight. Errol Spence, you know, had to do some drastic things, whether Errol Spence was hurt during, you know, training, or whether Errol Spence had to lose a lot of weight a certain way to make weight for that fight. I do feel like the second fight is going to be completely different. Now, he might still lose to Bud, but I do feel like we're going to see a different fight, whether he wins or loses in the second one. Now, should he retire if he loses?
It's so hard for me to sit back here looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made.
I think that's a hard question to answer. I think it's a hard pill to swallow. Errol Spence is still the younger of the two fighters. I think Errol Spence is still going to have popularity even if he loses to Terence Crawford twice. And there's still big fights out there for him. He could possibly take a Charlo fight. He could possibly get a Canelo fight. You know, that's still possible. He could possibly fight a guy like Triple G, you know, who, I don't know if Triple G's retired at this point or what the heck Triple G's doing at this point. But there are still names out there. Tim Tszyu, you know, some of these younger fighters at 154, he could possibly fight and become, you know, a household name again if he was to take some of these guys down.
People sometimes be like, yo, if I can make enough money to lose it, I'll be happy. People that are like, I'm not happy because I don't have a girlfriend. When they get a girlfriend, they still not happy. You know, you have to really work on yourself. And if you're insecure about something, recognize that and figure out the root of it. But the insecurities become fear, and that stops you from realizing your potential, and you miss a lot of your life and your dreams coming true.
You know, I feel the same way about him at this point as I felt about Manny Pacquiao when he was knocked out. And everybody was saying that his career is over. He'll never be the same. And he came back and became the oldest welterweight champion ever in history. You know, this is the problem with sports. And I'm going to end it here. In sports, people want to feel like that this team is unbeatable. This guy is unbeatable. This is an unstoppable force once again. And in sports, once again, everybody can be beat. You could go down at any time. Phil Jackson took losses. You know, once again, you know, guys like Mike Tyson took losses. It doesn't mean that your career is over because you took an L. It's all about how you recover from that L. So I don't think Errol Spence will necessarily retire if he takes a second loss to Terence Crawford.
Yeah, you got a lot of heart in them, man. You got a lot of heart.
I would say that at that point, you would have to start looking at either Errol Spence's technique. There's something that he's doing wrong technically, you know, technique-wise. Perhaps Dedrick James has hit a pinnacle with him. There's nothing else he can teach him. Maybe he needs to go get a new coach. Or perhaps there is something going on, you know, behind the body of Errol Spence Jr., which I doubt because nobody was saying that after he beat the crap out of Danny. Nobody was saying that after he beat the crap out of who guys. You know, they only want to question your abilities when you take a loss. And I think that's completely wrong. Fans, analysts, spectators, everybody involved. You shouldn't kick people when they're down. That's when you should start to, you know, reevaluate what they need to do different. You shouldn't be kicking people when they're down. But that's natural. That's a part of life. That is human nature. But once again, I don't think even if he takes a second loss, he should retire. I don't think that it's really going to matter that much. It might matter to history, but I think it all depends on how Errol Spence comes back from that second loss.
When I lost my fight to Buster Douglas,
I started getting paid more because now was a chance that I could be beaten. People couldn't bet on me. There's a possibility you get beat. Hey, people could bet on you now.
Y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. That like button for me. Share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Which you're more than likely to get a response on the tube. So holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, feature a product or your channel on my channel, feel free to hit my Gmail because it is a flock of cards at gmail.com. And we are
from Louisville to London. I bet this here let them know where I come from. I bet this here make the cops pull a stun gun. I bet this here make the best chick nerd. I start shaking the onion, back and forth at the back of a horse. You see him getting money on the avenue. This Louis Keys player didn't know, now you do. I'm a fool on the track, smooth on the track. They stuck to the wall like glues on their back. Until they play this, they don't know how to act. Overheard them spitting game, you don't know how to mac. Let me show you something, teach you a thing or two. First off, don't snoop if you ain't the one banging blue. In other words, mind your own. The KY's my home, homie, I'm in the zone. Tell my G's in the place, fella. Tell my girls in the place, fella. Tell my people in the place, fella. It's going down, get right tonight. Tell my G's in the place, fella. Tell my girls in the place, fella. Tell my people in the place, fella. It's going down, get right tonight.
They call me a bad young city slicker, man frame, I'ma get you. I cop a feel, I'll be down if I don't hit you. Split your dick, run through your stomach tissue. A couple of drinks, best believe I forget you. No number to reach you, just a couple of autographs and pictures. This show do it all with you, but I ain't with you, cause I ain't looking for no love tension. And I don't miss you, I ain't looking for no mouth bitching, gotta get it. This is for my G's and Max, to ride with a face and they laugh and a lean in they hat. This is for my club car hoppers, jump in the whip and bitches so proper. And I'm a pimp by name and I don't need no fame, just me and my gang. And I can put it on the game, write it down, take a picture, you can stick me in the frame, do it.
Tell my G's in the place, fella. Tell my girls in the place, fella. Tell my people in the place, fella. It's going down, get right.